Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for a Friday edition of the Steel City Sports Report, where we talk everything Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates. I'm your host, Brady Vini, and today's report includes, will this Pittsburgh Steelers free agent come back on a bargain? The Steelers are set to meet with several more combine prospects. The Pittsburgh Penguins finally win a game in comeback fashion, and more. As always, please be sure to like, comment, and share this video, as well as subscribe to the channel. Now let's get into the first news story of the day. Will this Pittsburgh Steelers free agent come back on a bargain? Even though it's probably a secondary topic to the quarterbacks, the Steelers running back situation is starting to give me a headache. At this point, I don't know who the hell is coming or going, but one Steelers insider says that the team is going to make a push to keep this running back from leaving. Besides restricted free agent Jaylen Warren getting tendered, which we already knew about, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Steelers writer Jerry Dulac says the Steelers will be making a push to re-sign Najee Harris. More specifically, Dulac said that the Steelers will be meeting with Harris's agent at the NFL Scouting Combine to negotiate a bit, with one rumored offer being a 3-year deal worth $20 million. Harris, like always, played in all 17 games last year for the Black and Gold, carrying the ball 263 times for just over 1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns. Though they look good, when you peek behind the numbers, you'll clearly see that Harris lacks explosion in his style of run, and being a 1,000-yard rusher isn't as impressive as years gone by. However, potentially bringing him back for a little over $6.5 million per year would be a no-brainer signing. Where Najee lacks explosion, he makes up for it with brute strength and tenacity. Now, the Steelers still definitely need to draft a running back, regardless of whether Harris stays or not, but if they can keep that thunder to pair up with a true game-changing and explosive rookie, then the running backs room will be in very good shape. The Steelers are set to meet with several more combine prospects. Yesterday, day one of the NFL Scouting Combine saw defensive linemen and linebackers go through drills, and man, did they not disappoint. A good chunk of that group from yesterday was reported to have met or will be meeting with members of the Steelers organization, and now, 24 hours later, that list has grown. Joining the 13-plus players already meeting the Steelers are Ohio State wide receiver Emeka Egbuka, Texas wide receiver Matthew Golden, Missouri wide receiver Luther Burden, Ole Miss wide receiver Trey Harris, Stanford wide receiver Alec Eomanor, Penn State tight end Tyler Warren, Texas A&M defensive tackle Shamar Turner, Texas corner Jahdae Brown, Michigan corner Will Johnson, Notre Dame corner Benjamin Morrison, LSU corner Zy Alexander, Notre Dame safety Xavier Watts, and Penn State safety Jalen Reed, with I'm sure more to come. Most of those names meeting with the Steelers, I would be ecstatic with them taking, but until the draft rolls around in 2 months, we return to intently watching the Combine this weekend, continuing today with corners and tight ends at 3 p.m. This Pittsburgh Penguin is done for a while. Recently, it seemed as if the Pittsburgh Penguins were going to be fully healthy for the first time in a while. Well, that was not and will not be the case, as after missing Tuesday's practice with illness, Penguins forward Michael Bunting will be missing some time. As it turned out, Bunting had surgery on Wednesday to have his appendix removed. According to head coach Mike Sullivan, he'll, quote, be out for the next little while, with appendix surgery usually requiring a month to 2 months recovery time. In response to Bunting going on injured reserve, the Pens have activated forward Boko Imama off of IR, and forward Emil Bemstrom was recalled from Wilkes-Barre. The 29-year-old's absence will be a decent blow to the Pens' weak forward core, but will probably help their chances of losing for a high draft pick. I wish Bunce the best of luck in his recovery, and hope to see him again for a brief cameo near the end of the season. The Pittsburgh Penguins finally win a game in comeback fashion. Since returning from the Four Nations face-off break, the Pittsburgh Penguins have been nothing less than horrible. After losing their initial 3 games back, the Pens were looking to even the score against the Philadelphia Flyers last night, following that ugly 6-1 loss on Tuesday. You would think, coming off of that embarrassing defeat, that the Penguins would come out of the gates motivated. Nope, not even close. Their dump-ins were lazy, their forecheck was pitiful, and for the 11th time this season, they gave up the first goal of the game on the first shot they faced. About midway through the second period, the Pens were in a 3-0 hole with 2 goals going off their defensemen. At that point, goaltender Alex Nedeljkovic was pulled, and he was not too happy, breaking his stick over the crossbar, slamming the bench gate shut, and yelling at head coach Mike Sullivan. Honestly, I don't blame you, Ned. After saying 48 hours earlier that you felt like you couldn't make a save instead of giving you a night off, Sullivan threw you right back to the Wolves. Immediately after that, the Pens woke up a bit, getting 2 goals from Philip Tomasino and Erik Karlsson in quick succession. The Flyers got one back on a power play goal after Boca Amama interfered with Garnet Hathaway, but Karlsson stepped up again to make it a 1-goal game. Early in the third, another veteran Penguin rose to the task as Evgeny Malkin beat Flyers goaltender Samuel Ersson with a laser to tie it. The rest of the period was back and forth action, but no one could score another before regulation time expired. Just like in the third period, it didn't take long for Malkin to work his magic as he waited out 2 Flyers defenders and Ersson to bury the game winner and give the Pens a much-needed 5-4 OT victory. Now that right there was a bit relieving. As much as I don't mind the Penguins losing and boosting their chances of the first overall pick, it's nice to get a win like that every once in a while. The team looked like they actually gave a crap after Nedeljkovic got yanked, Karlsson played like the guy who is a 3-time Norris Trophy winner, and Gino turned back the clock with a dominant 4-point night. Now we will see if that win was just a blip on the radar when the Pens take on the Boston Bruins and Toronto Maple Leafs this weekend. And finally, this Pittsburgh Pirate might actually be back. Another day, another strong showing by the Pittsburgh Pirates early in spring training this year. Yesterday afternoon, the Bucks shellacked the Minnesota Twins 12-1, and for the second game in a row, this Pirate played phenomenal. That bucko was outfielder Jack Suwinski, going 2 for 3 again with a double, 3 RBIs, and 2 stolen bases. I know we aren't supposed to believe everything we see in spring training, but man, I hope what I'm watching is Suwinski rediscovering his game and taking that next step as a big leaguer. Anyway, there wasn't too much to dislike from yesterday's ballgame, as in addition to Suwinski, utility man Nick Solak went 3 for 3, infielder Alika Williams is off to a nice little start in spring training, and all the pitchers were great, but my goodness, does right-handed pitcher Bubba Chandler look as promising as advertised. What do you say, Bucks? Keep this good start going? We will see if that happens today versus the Tampa Bay Rays at 1:05 p.m. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up a Friday edition of the Steel City Sports Report. Again, please be sure to like, comment, and share this video, as well as subscribe to the channel. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys back here on Monday with some more Pittsburgh sports news.